Hello and welcome back to Carlid. Today I have for you guys the Range Rover Sport SVR. This car, the overall look of it is aggressive mixed with a lot of practicality. When I say practicality, you just need to look at the car for you to know what I'm talking about. The sheer size of it just backs up my point of when I say that the car is practical. And the aggressiveness, you just need to look at some of the features of this car, like the huge grille and the quad tailpipes at the back of the car. The front of this car is really aggressive. You can see these LED lights. They are LED matrix lights, which means that they have a sort of technology which makes it that they're bright, but they will not dazzle oncoming drivers. There's a big difference between the Range Rover Sport SVR and the baseline Range Rover Sport. It has a bigger grille, and with the side of the grille, the Range Rover Sport has like basically just half of that. And when you look very closely, you can see that it says SVR, and on the circle of it, it says Special Vehicle Operation. And Special Vehicle is what the first two letters of SVR stand for, and the R stands for racing, so Special Vehicle Racing. From here to here, it's more thicker and helps the car look more aggressive and more wider than the baseline Range Rover Sport. And on this middle piece is just the bigger piece of the whole lower grille. And now we get onto the bonnet. This features a scoop which helps with the cooling of this car. You can also have an option that is the carbon package. It will make this whole section of the bonnet carbon fiber and fully carbon fiber. They won't even paint over it. There's a Range Rover badge over here and it's just all in black, which helps with the way the car looks. The side mirrors of this car are huge. They are basically the same size as my head, and that's crazy if you think about it. When you move to the bottom, you see these enormous 21-inch wheels with the red brake canopy. They are all black, which also helps with the aggressiveness of this car, and I think it looks much better over the white wheels that you could get on this car. And then you see the tires. This is part of what makes a Range Rover a Range Rover, because when you guys think of Range Rover, you probably think of like going off-road and SUVs like this, and these tires help with the grip of the car and help it go off-road. You guys might be thinking, what's the difference between these rims and the Range Rover rims that you see on the normal Sport? The difference between these rims is that the maximum size you can get on the Range Rover Sport is 20 inches, and these are 22-inch rims, and that helps with the height of the car and if it was to go off-road. The window is very big and you can see that it's tinted. The black frame makes the car look so aggressive. On other cars, the frame might be like a chrome or aluminum finish, but this is black and it shows that this car is very, very sporty. At the back of this car, you can see already that it has the black Range Rover badge that stretches across the whole back of the car. There is another badge over here that says SVR. This helps you know the difference between a normal Range Rover Sport and a Range Rover Sport SVR. The lights on this car are the same as the Range Rover Sport, but they still fit perfectly onto this car because those little details inside of the lights really match the exhaust, which is what I'm going to do next. These exhausts, they are quad tail exhaust, and these four things right here is part of the reason why people buy this car. With the Range Rover SVA, it has the exact same engine with basically the exact same horsepower, but the sound that comes out of this is like an angel singing. Just wait until you hear the sound. These quad exhaust pipes are a big deal when it comes to this car. It helps in addition of the looks of this car. It helps the car look more agile, and trust me, when you guys hear it, oh, you're gonna be amazed. The exhaust fit perfectly into the diffuser that wraps around the whole exhaust. This whole diffuser helps the car with downforce, which there's not really a lot of in an SUV, but you can't complain when you hear the sound. When you look very closely, you can see that there's a very small reversing camera. This will help you when you're reversing into a parking space, and you won't really need to use the interior mirror as much as you would need to in a normal car. This boot is huge. You can see, like, this is a good, like, 4 feet of boot space over here. With this cover, you normally struggle with, like, normal cars, but with this, Range Rover made it so much more easy. All you have to do is pull back, and then those 2 hinges, once it's disconnected and you've lifted up, you just need to let go, and it's pulled all the way back. The way this car is made with luxury. Can already see that with this sort of the suede looking sort of carpet inside of the boot, and it's so big that even someone that's 6 foot can sit inside. And don't forget, this car is based off of the Range Rover Sport, which means it has some of the features of the Range Rover Sport, like the air suspension. You just need to press these 2 buttons here. You press this to make it go higher, and you press this to make it go lower. You can see where the tire is, that it's going higher and it's going lower. This is making it go lower. And then this is making it go higher. You can use this feature like when you're doing shopping and then it's hard to carry the bags inside and you can't lift them that high. You can just lower the car whilst the shopping is in your hand, and then it'll be easier for you to load the car, to load the shopping inside of the boot. And also, if you're going off-road, just know that you need to make the car higher, and then off-roading will be like a breeze, because remember, this is a Range Rover, and off-roading in Range Rovers is no joke. And to close the boot, all you need to do is press this button. The luxury of the interior of this car. Now, let me show you. Oh my days, just the feeling of sitting in this car alone just makes me feel like a king, and that I can rule the whole world. Because the feeling, it makes you feel so, it's a premium leather. It has premium bucket racing seats, because this is a sports car, and there's leather everywhere. It has an aluminum finish to the car, and it has aluminum finishes over here, everywhere. You could get the piano black, but the piano black, it gets fingerprints everywhere, and I'm not a big fan of it. Did I mention that this car has massage seats? Let me show you. I'm going to show you guys how to turn on the massage seats. You just press a few buttons, and then the massage function is on. It just feels like I'm in a spa, and then I'm getting treated so well. Like I said, like I'm a king. And it just feels so good. If you guys were in this car, you will be so happy. This is just a house, and I say that because it has a fridge. The dashboard just shows luxury, because the leather, the quality of this leather, it's very squidgy, and like you can see that they've put all of their work and their effort into the vehicle. The infotainment screen, I mean infotainment screens, because you can see that there are 2 over here. The top one you would use to control like your media, your like Apple CarPlay. You can have Apple CarPlay with this, and on the bottom one you would use it to control like your seats and your climate control. You would use these dials here to turn it up, to turn the heat up, and then to turn it down you just turn the heat like that. And this is also your sat nav, and like what you would get on a base car that would have a screen. Over here you can see that there's like a sort of modern gear selector. You can select park, which is what this car is in now, reverse, neutral and drive. And then when you really want to test this car, then you put it in sport. When you put it in sport, this car will reach its full potential, and I will tell you guys what the car's full potential is when I talk about the engine. And also, I forgot to mention, on the screens you can control like what driving mode you're in, like, because you know this is a Range Rover and it does a lot of off-roading. Over here you can control all of, like, if you're on sand or you're on rocks or pebbles, it will say everything over here. Over here there's cup holders and they have a lot of room. You can fit a big mug inside of this car. The space in this car is very good. I'm 5'7" and there's a lot of headroom inside of this car and a lot of knee room. When you're driving the car, there's a lot of room for you to like maneuver when you're really testing this car. There's a lot of like space for your arms to maneuver whenever you're driving the car. The space in the back of the car as well, it shows like, even in the back of the car, it shows as much luxury as in the front. If there's not 3 people sitting in the back, then you just need to put your finger through here and then pull, and then there's an armrest. You can use it to rest your arm, like it's in the name, so I guess you would know that. And then there's a cup holder. There's 2 cup holders. They're not as big as the ones in the front, but they can still fit pretty big cups inside of them. The design of these seats are amazing. They're racing seats, which you wouldn't get in the baseline Range Rover Sport, but they put it in the Range Rover Sport SVR, and this just helps the car look so much more special, and you feel so like, they're racing seats, but you'd expect racing seats to be uncomfortable, but no, these racing seats are very padded and they hug you inside of the seat. The luxury does not stop in the back of the car. On the bottom you can see that there's this thick carpet on the floor. It's like if you would go to a luxurious house and then you saw a carpet on the floor. That's how this feels. You can literally just take off your shoes and relax inside of this car. You can charge your mobile device using this USB port. There's 2 of them over here in the back, and there is climate control in the back as well. All you need to do, like the front, is twist this and then it will show like what degrees it is and if it's hot or cold. The design of these seats, it doesn't even stop like when you go here and then they forget about here. No, they put even leather on the back of the seat, and there's this like triangular diamond design in the back, and it helps the car look so luxurious. In this car, you would expect for it to have electric seat adjustment, and it does. You can adjust the seats just by pushing here and over here, and here you can make the seat go down, you can make the seat go up over here, and this is to make this bit go outwards and inwards. You might not notice it due to the camera, but if you look very closely, you'll see that there's a light, and it just a light, there's a light around the whole Range Rover badge. I'll try and show you it. When you open both of the doors on this side of the car, you will notice a very small detail, and it will say SV, Special Vehicle Operation. This shows that they do not want you to forget that you're driving a Range Rover SVR, and it's the SVR, which I don't think you would forget because of the sound, the insane sound of this car. Now I'm going to talk about the engine, the thing that makes this car go vroom vroom. So all I need to do is just pull this lever here and then go to the front, and then between the E and the R, you just like push it to one side. Now this is the engine. This engine is a 5-litre V8 that produces 575 horsepower and 700 Newton meters of torque. And This is part of the reason that people buy this car. Number one, for the speed, and the top speed of this car is 176 miles per hour. I think you guys need to remember that this is an SUV that weighs over 2 tons, and it takes this car to 176 miles per hour. That's more than like most of the sports sedan cars these days. And the sound that this engine makes, combined with the exhaust, is just insane. See the way the water's just, can you see the way the water is just coming out of the exhaust? It's like it's a water bottle, and then it's just pouring water outside of it. This is ludicrous. This is a different, like, this came from a different planet. This is something else. I don't know. Oh my days. So guys, we've unfortunately come to the end of this video. For this car, I didn't find any faults apart from the fact that it wasn't mine. If you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe and share, and turn on your post notification for new videos. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.